All right, YouTube is up. Let's get some light on the situation there. And now, just like always, I gotta fool around to get on Facebook. Oh, crap. All right, and Facebook is up. Hey, okay, you guys are ready and going before I am, and I don't know what the heck just happened. There we go. So I knew I had seen some of my stuff well as we're unpacking, and then I go to grab it today, and I can't find it again. So, all right, this is the pink room. And I obviously have not had a chance to paint yet. But I'll get there. I'll get there. All right, how am I? Gosh, I seem so far away on Facebook, and I'm cutting my head off on YouTube. Okay. That is about right. Let me see what's going on. I just lean it a little bit for some reason. Oh, goodness. There we go. How'd that do? Much better. I still feel like I'm really far away, though. Maybe I don't need to plant myself so far back. You guys over on YouTube, do you feel crooked? Because my camera's really crazy crooked. All right. Just a smidge closer. I know there's a way to like test all of this stuff out before I get going, but you know me. You guys know me. All right, it is 9:30. All right, some people over on YouTube. We got Facebook up. All right, I am back, and I don't know that this is going to be the permanent space, but for now, it's going to be what it is. Right? It is chilly this morning. I don't know where you are, and if it's cold where you are. I think it like pretty much even in Florida, it's still not warm today. So we're gonna warm up a little bit with our practice. We'll get some nice sun salutes in, and that'll get the heart pumping and the blood flowing, and hopefully some heat moving as well. We're gonna start with some Ujjayi breathing, right, to help again warm up the body, and we'll go from there. And hopefully everybody's back on track with me, and we're regardless of where we end up, we will be here and we will get some yoga in. So we're going to start seated. So come to a comfortable seat. Heels aligned to the groin as much as you can. Taking inner thigh rotation so that you know you're upright on your pelvis. We aren't going to be here terribly long, but just make sure that you can sit here comfortably. And then release into your inner hips, but lift your lower belly in, lift your pelvic floor, lower belly in and up. Tall through the sides, but relax through your shoulders. Taking the bottom tips of the ears back just so that the head sets over the shoulders. Go ahead and close your eyes and take a moment to just be present on your mat. And notice your environment. Right? So whether it's quiet or it's got a little bit of noise, whether you're more warm or more cool, just kind of being here. Get to notice your breath without doing anything with it. Notice if the inhales are longer than the exhales, or maybe vice versa. And gradually allow that breath to expand. And instead of breathing all through the nose, go ahead and inhale through your nose. But when you exhale, let it come out your mouth and let it be noisy. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the mouth. Take a few more like that. And it does not have to be a forceful thing. You don't have to out, right? But just your normal, natural exhalation, only through your mouth. And as you're exhaling here, notice the feeling in the back of your throat. Notice how it feels open. This time, keep that sensation in the back of your throat, but close your lips and you'll hear the ha inside of your ear, right? Instead of out your mouth. Hear it? And if you keep that sensation in the back of your throat as you inhale, you'll kind of hear the same thing, right? It's sort of like when you put the shell up to your ear as a kid, right? You can hear the sound of the ocean, right? It's your breath. So we're going to keep that breath flowing, keep the belly engaged, keep the length through the spine, adding on. Go ahead and take the arms out to the sides. And with the next inhalation, reach them up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bring them back down again. Let's do it just like that again. Inhaling up and exhaling down. One more time. Stay sitting nice and tall here. Let's go ahead and take the right hand over to the left knee, left hand behind the back, just a gentle little twist over to the right here, to the left. Nice and easy. We're going to release that back to the middle and take the second side. Same idea. Gentle, easy twist. So let's bring it back to center. We're going to take this next one a little deeper, taking the same setup with the arms, pressing into that left hand to help you sit a little taller. And then pulling against the knee, rotating the belly button around, turning your left side ribs toward the back of your mat, drawing the shoulder back a little bit, maybe looking over the shoulder. Keep this right shoulder back as much as you can. Try not to let it collapse across your chest. Let's release that, rotating back to the middle, and then take the second side. So the same idea, using your arms and rotating around. Releasing that as you come back to the middle again. And from here, we're going to come around onto hands and knees. So take a moment, plant your wrists under your shoulders, spread your fingers nice and wide. Cushion the knees or wrists if you need a little assistance here. Belly's in. Keeping that spine neutral, nice big breath flowing here. Let's go ahead and move through some cat-cows. So on an inhale, drop the belly toward the floor. And then exhale, rounding your spine up toward the ceiling. In and out with the breath like that. One more flow. Finding that neutral position for the spine again. So the spine is in this nice long position. Your belly is still engaged here. Let's go ahead and extend the right leg straight back. We want to push through the heel. Make that leg as if you're standing on it. Toes rotating toward the floor to keep the hip from kicking up. We're going to extend the left arm forward. Reach away in opposite directions. Might be a little tricky for the balance, and if it's not, close your eyes and it will be. Let's go ahead and release that. And we'll switch to the second side here. So go ahead and extend the left leg and then the right arm. Again, use your belly to support the back. Keep those big, noisy breaths flowing. And then release that back down again. So we're going to switch that up just a little bit. Go ahead and go back to the first side here. Right leg and left arm, extending away from the body. Take your time here. Stay really active. And then we're going to take the arm over to the left and bring the leg around to the right. So push through the heel, stretch through your fingertips. Breathe. Releasing the hand, go ahead and take the toes over to the side here. Let's come up on the knee. Cushion the knee, of course, if you need to. Heel in line. Let's reach the left arm up, and we're going to come over. Keeping the shoulder back. Inhaling on the way back up again, and then releasing the hands to the mat. Go ahead and lift the leg, and we're going to hold it out there. Don't worry about high. Try not to lean a whole bunch over to the side. Staying centered. Take the leg back, and then down. All right, so the same idea on the second side here. Go ahead and extend your left leg and your right arm. Just checking in. How's everybody doing? I got my hand. When you're ready here, go ahead and take the arm over to the right and the leg around to the left. Releasing the hands to the floor, the toes over to this side here. Come on up on the knee. And again, adjust if everything didn't land where you wanted it to. We'll take the right arm up and over. One more big breath. Inhaling on the way back up again. Go ahead and release the hands back to the mat. Same idea, trying to keep the lower body in this pretty neutral position, lifting the toes away from the floor. So yes, you can lift them higher if you lean a bunch. Try not to. Taking the leg back, go ahead and release back to the floor. So we're going to go back to that first side. extending the right leg and the left arm. Last one like this here. This time we're bending the knee. Take the fingers around and reach back for your foot. So finding the foot, maybe. You can kind of kick the foot away, drawing the shoulder back, lifting the toes a little higher for more stretch. Try and avoid the knee falling out to the side, keeping it in line. Big breath. Releasing that out, then stretch long and back down. Second side, same idea here, left leg and right arm. Bending at the knee and finding that foot. Find the stretch here. And then releasing that, stretching long again, and coming back down. Let's go ahead and sit the hips back to the heels and give yourself a nice little child's pose here. We'll stretch the arms out nice and long. Keeping the fingers spread, the four corners of the hands grounded. Let's make our way into a down dog. And of course, just let yourself wiggle, stretch, shift, adjust. And then we'll start to settle in. So keeping this nice long line through the spine, sinking the hips toward, or the heels toward the floor. From here, let's lift that right leg. Keeping the hips square for a moment. Press through the heel, and then open the right hip. Keeping the shoulders level as much as you can. You can bend the knee if you like. Head hanging between the arms. And then we're going to release that side. And switch to the second side then. Pressing the left heel back. Then opening that left hip and bending at the knee here. The right shoulder wants to droop to help the knee lift or the hip lift. Try and keep those shoulders level. Let's release that side. We'll walk the feet to the hands and come to a standing fold. So let's plant the feet up underneath the hip bones, toes pointing forward. Engage into the four corners of the feet. And don't worry about touching your toes. We're not going to do that anyway. So the legs are straight, the hands maybe up to the thighs. And we're going to bring the upper body parallel to the floor. Pressing with the hands on the legs here if you need. Right. Hips over the ankles, the legs are straight, supporting with the hands, making sure the belly is working. And keeping this roughly 90-degree bend in the hip, go ahead and bend into your knees and make your way to chair. Nice and even on the four corners of the feet here. The chest is lifted. You can absolutely stay supporting. Maybe bring hands center or extend the arms. Let's take another nice big breath. On the inhale, stretch to the ceiling. And then exhale, release it all. So we're going to work into some sun salutes here. Coming up to the top of your mat. With the inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, take yourself over into a fold. On the inhale, come halfway up. With the exhale, step the right foot back into a lunge. You can absolutely take the knee to the mat if that's you. Let's just work around into our hips a little bit here for a moment. And then we're going to find a center. So imagine pulling your legs toward each other up underneath the body. Let's take the left leg straight. And fold over this leg here. So again, the back knee can be down on the floor. You can be propped up on blocks here if that's you. You can use your shin, keeping the spine neutral. Another big breath. And then bend back into the knee. Let's step the left foot back into our down dog. And with an inhale, slide forward into plank. Take the knees if you'd like. We're bending the elbows tight to the dropping down to the belly. Release the toes, hands next to the side ribs. Little roll into the shoulders for this baby cobra here. Keeping the elbows in as we press up and back into down dog. Let's step the right foot forward. Work your toes to your fingers. And then the same idea, just kind of wiggle around a little bit. And maybe your foot didn't land where you want it to. Work it up until it's where you want it to be. Dropping the back knee again here if you need. Sweep the legs toward each other. Let's take that right leg straight. Bending back into the knee and stepping forward, come back to fold. On an inhale, come halfway up and exhale back over. Reaching all the way up. Exhaling and releasing the arms. So again, inhale and lift. Exhale into the fold. Coming halfway up. This time exhaling and stepping the left foot back. So finding the place for your feet, dropping the back knee if you need. Finding stability in the middle here. Let's bring the right hand to the hip and add a twist. Rotating the belly button, side ribs, and shoulder around. Try not to lean. Keep hugging in toward the thigh here. Big noisy breaths. And then release that twist and step back to your down dog again. On an inhale, slide forward, come to plank. Exhale, down to the belly. Hands next to the side ribs. We're going to roll, pull with your hands like you're pulling your belly button forward. Keeping the elbows in, up and back to down dog. And then the left foot steps forward. So work your toes all the way up, hug your legs toward each other, bring the left hand to the hip and twist to your second side. Releasing the twist, stepping forward into the fold. Coming halfway up on an inhale, and then back over, reaching all the way up, and exhale at the top. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhaling the right foot back in for lunge. Finding that stability. Remember the back knee can be on the floor here if you need it. We're going to climb up on the thigh. and lift the upper body. Hang on if you'd like. Keeping that back leg nice and straight and strong, maybe reach the arms. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, looking up without dropping your head back. And then release it. Take it back over into lunge and down dog. Slide forward into plank. Drop down to the belly. Roll the shoulders, pull with the hands, maybe a little press. Elbows in, shoulders away from the ears. Releasing that, up and back, down dog. And then the right foot forward. So getting stable and then climbing up when you're ready. Staying vertical, keeping the back leg straight, reaching the arms. Let's release it back over into the lunge. We'll step forward into fold. Halfway up. Exhale back over. And then all the way. And release the arms. All right. So enough of that. Let's take a short step back here this time with the right foot. And we're going to work into warrior one, just a little bit different variation than where we just were. So ideally here, both feet flat to the floor instead of that lunging position with the back heel up. We want to square up the hips, bend into the left knee if it's not already. Keeping that back heel grounded, reaching the arms up again. Trying to relax the shoulders, keeping the arms in line with the ears. Adjusting the feet. You'll find that maybe you hit the perfect spot right away, and then sometimes you can go deeper. From our warrior one, we're going to open up into warrior two. So arms parallel to the floor, rotating that left arm over the left leg. We're going to drop the right heel, opening the toes to the side. And probably here, you can open your feet a little wider. Probably. Right. Take a peek. Make sure you can see your left big toe. Relax the arms. Look over those left fingertips. Feeling steady and even through your feet. Belly's engaged. Nice big noisy breaths. Let's take the right hand to the back of the right thigh. Rotating the left palm toward the ceiling. Reach it up. But then see about dropping this left shoulder back down. So the chest turns toward the ceiling just a little bit. Coming back to warrior two. Bending the left arm, resting on the thigh. Bring the right arm up and over the ear. Stretching through the fingertips, descending into the hips if you can. You may need to open your feet wider. Yeah, maybe. Let's release it over into lunge. So up on those back toes again. Probably here. Hop your back toes in until you find a place where you can lift that right foot up off the floor, standing on the left leg. Keep the hips square to the floor. That right hip wants to lift. Keep it down. The fingertips can stay on the mat if they need. Maybe just one hand. Maybe no hands. Or the arms can fly. So finding your balance on that left foot is really the thing. The belly supporting the back, and the arms do what they need to do. We're going to release it all over into a fold and let yourself hang for a second. So just relaxed. Taking a bend into the knee here, let's go ahead and roll up through the spine. And we'll take it to the second side. So same idea, that short little step back with the left foot. Finding your feet here. Right? And again, adjusting when you need to adjust. There's no foul for that. Staying grounded, hips square, shoulders down and back, reaching the arms if and when you're ready. Keeping that nice, big, noisy breath. And then we'll open up into our warrior two here. So arms parallel, opening the feet, opening the toes at least for sure. Checking in for your big toe here. Taking the left hand to the back of the thigh, right palm turns toward the ceiling, reaching up, but then dropping this right shoulder back down. Let's come back to our warrior two. Bending the right arm, resting the forearm, and bringing the left arm over the ear. So we're going for this nice long line from the left fingertips through the heel, not with the bum hanging out or hanging down, right? Releasing that, let's come over to lunge, up on those back toes. So the hips are square here. We want to keep that idea as we hop in a bit and then lift that left foot away from the mat. Hang on if you need to hang on, absolutely, right? Otherwise, see about climbing up. Lifting the upper body parallel to the floor as well. That belly is working. Use the arms if you need or not. Releasing it all over into fold. Allow yourself to just kind of hang out for a moment. And this time we'll step back into down dog. From there, dropping down into child's pose. And taking just a little bit of a break here. Even here, can you feel that nice, big, noisy breath? So from child's pose, we're going to go ahead and lift up and come to kneeling plank. So wrists under shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide. Belly's in, keeping the hips from dragging toward the floor, right? Here, take the left foot over to the left side of the mat, keeping that knee on the floor, and then open the body to the right. So you're on your left hand, left knee, right foot's at the back of your mat. So the body could be upright, yeah? Hand can stay at the hip, extend toward the ceiling, maybe come over ear, maybe the toes lift away from the floor. Take another nice big breath. We're going to rotate back into our kneeling plank. Keeping the shoulders in line, the belly engaged. Let's bend the elbows enough to bring them in line with the ribs and then stop for just a moment and then take it to the floor. Nice. So down here, we're going to work with locust. Let's work with just the upper body first, keeping the feet on the floor. Take the arms either down by your sides or interlaced behind your lower back. We want to press down into the feet, press down into the pelvis. Try not to just squeeze your bum here, keeping the belly engaged. And then roll into the shoulders like we've been doing with Cobra, stretching the fingertips back toward the heels. If you find you rise and fall away from the floor a little bit with your upper body and when your breath here, that's not a bad thing. Let that happen. Another big breath. And then release it. Making a little pillow for your head and just resting for a moment. We'll work with just the lower body next. So leaving your forehead or your chin resting on your hands here. Spread your toes and imagine extending your big toe toward the wall behind you. Feeling your hamstrings kick in. Again, we don't want to just squeeze the bum. Lift the legs using your hamstrings. Take another big breath here. And then release it. Let's put it all together. So, arms back down by your sides, interlaced behind your lower back if that's right for you here. We're going to roll into our shoulders. Press the pelvis into the floor. Extend through the big toes and lift the legs. And again, allow yourself to rise and fall. Releasing it all to the mat. Making that little pillow for your head again. Turn your toes toward each other and just allow yourself to rock a little bit on your hips. We'll come back to center. Take the hands next to the side ribs again, hugging the elbows in. Press halfway up. And then all the way kneeling plank. Let's go to the second side then. Taking the right foot over to the right and opening the body to the left. So we're in that straight line. The left arm lifts or comes over the ear. Maybe the left toes lift. Let's release it back down to the floor again. Elbows into the sides, dip halfway, and then all the way down. So if that locust was a big deal, right, that was really challenging, or you just want to work it again, feel free. Otherwise, we're going to move into bow. Maybe. So same idea with the pelvis. Keep the tailbone tucking, the pelvis pressing down into the floor. There's your foundation. This time, we're going to bend the knees and reach back to find your feet. So maybe it's just one at a time, and that's fine. Keeping the knees in rather than out. They don't have to touch, but you don't want them splaying out to the sides. You can flex your feet. Sometimes that gives you a little bit of a better hold. You can kick the feet away from the hands to get a bigger stretch there. You can leave the thighs on the floor or lift the thighs away from the floor. So you decide here where you are, again, allowing yourself to rise and fall with your breath. Let's take another big breath. And we'll gently release. Same idea here, making that little pillow for your head, turning your toes toward each other, and just kind of rocking back and forth on your hips. Release your back. One more time. Take your hands next to your side ribs, hug your elbows in, press down into your knees, pull your belly up halfway. And then all the way up, gently back into a child's pose. Let's walk the hands in toward the knees, coming up on the heels. And then taking the legs around in front. So just like we started, making sure that the pelvis feels upright here. Propping up if you need to. Keep your hands next to your hips if that helps your spine sit tall. The belly's working. Let's reach up. And we're going to fold forward. Let the hands fall where they do. Don't make it about touching your toes. Doesn't matter if you don't touch your toes. We want to keep the shoulders back so the spine stays long. Watch that your feet stay flexed, toes pointing up. One more nice big breath. And with the inhale, coming back up to the top, releasing the arms. So let's take the feet flat to the floor. We're going to hang on to the hamstrings. Lean back so that your arms are almost straight. Keep the shoulders down and back and the chest lifted, the belly's working. You could hang on for dear life if you needed to, but maybe don't hang on so much. Right? Toes can stay on the floor or a little bit up. Right? Maybe the shins parallel to the floor. Maybe the legs straight. And again, use your hands more or less. Let's take the soles of the feet together here. Hang on to your ankles. Let the heels come in. Stay lifted if you can. And then go ahead and C-curve your spine and roll on back. Keeping the soles of the feet together, let them come to the floor. And just rest your inner hip, your lower belly. Let's bring the knees back together. And draw those knees back toward the chest. And just allow yourself to rock a little bit here. So let's release the feet to the floor. Find a neutral spine here. So the shoulders are back, the back of the neck isn't touching the floor, your lower back isn't touching the floor, right? The shoulders and the hips feel evenly weighted. Keep that. And extend your right leg straight up toward the ceiling. So you may already feel something shift, right? Maybe that lower back has to press down. Try and find the middle again. Okay. Taking the hands behind the thigh here, you could also use a strap across the bow mound of your foot, or even behind your thigh, as long as it's not cutting into your leg, right? Keeping the shoulders down and back. With your breath here, if you can, exhale and pull that leg a little closer to your body. And then inhale and let it go just a little bit. Okay? So a gentle little in and out like that. And as you move that leg closer, you're going to find that place where your back starts to shift, right? Sometimes it's the hip sort of kicking up. Maybe it's the lower back just pressing down and your bottom lifting up off the floor. You'll find it. And it can be super subtle, so take your time. And you want to work at that edge. If it's too easy, nothing is changing. If all you're doing is continuously lifting your butt up off the floor, well, nothing's really going to change there either. Except you could give yourself a backache, I suppose. Right? And who needs that? So finding that place just before the shift, right? Take the left arm out to the left, support the outside of your right leg with your hand, and start to bring that leg out to the side. But the same idea, notice what's going on in your backside. And just before you feel the shift here, stop. Sometimes you have to fix it again because they over exaggerated. Letting the weight of the leg fall into the hand. So allowing this inner hip to release, keeping the left knee pointing up at the ceiling. And again, just finding that edge where the body wants to help. What would happen if you flexed your right foot? You can turn your right toes toward the floor and your left heel, or your right heel toward the ceiling. So you're increasing the stretch without changing the rest of the body. Okay. Come on back up to center. Let's release that foot. And we'll do the same thing to the second side. So if you did get a little off, find the middle and extend the left leg. Same idea. Keeping the backside as neutral on the mat as you can. Use your strap, take the fingers and interlace, whatever works. And then find your edge. A little in and a little out. In and a little out. Right? Take just a couple more breaths, finding that place. And then again, finding just before the edge, extend your right arm out to the right, support the leg with the left hand, and start to drop it to the left. Take your time, find the edge here. Keeping the backside neutral, you can add flexing the foot, rotating the toes, all of those things. If you feel like you want a little extra, But to go any deeper would throw everything else off, right? Let's bring it back up to the middle and release that foot to the floor. Gently draw the knees into the chest and rock. And then this last twist is going to be your choice, right? So you can leave the knees tucked into the chest. You can take the feet flat to the floor. You can shift your hips. You can take your legs straight. You can cross your legs. All kinds of fancy stuff, whatever you want. We're going to open the arms out into a T position here, and the legs are going to start by dropping over to the right. Again, you decide exactly how to make that happen. Try something, and if it isn't exactly where your body wanted to be, shift a little bit, right? Try something else. Maybe you need it to stretch here, maybe you need it there. Maybe you need it both places. Just kind of wiggle around and listen to what your body tells you to do. Taking just a couple more breaths. And gently making your way back to center. Adjusting here if you need. Initially take the same thing to your second side. Ideally, we work the body very symmetrically, but sometimes one side needs something else. Right? So be sure to listen, and if you need to adjust over here, then adjust. Let's take just a couple more breaths over on this side. And then we're going to make our way back up to the center. Hug the knees into the chest if they're not already, and rock again. Squeezing the knees in as tight as you can here. Go ahead and pull your nose toward your knees. And then release that. Take a full body stretch and get really long. Releasing that stretch. Let your arms come back down by your sides. And take Shavasana wherever that's going to be. So maybe it's fully extended out on your mat. Maybe the feet need to come flat or the soles of the feet need to come together. Maybe you want to take a seated meditation, whether it's up against the wall. Take legs up the wall if that's you. And then once you've found the place for the body to be comfortable, allow yourself to relax here. So we're not continuously fussing and adjusting and wiggling. Bringing the mind back solely to the breath. And you want to release that Ujjayi breath here. Finding your normal breath pattern. And just being present with it. Keeping the mind present and relaxed. Allowing yourself to rest. Slowly draw in a deep, cleansing breath, and then let that all go. Starting small, gently restore movement to your body. When you're ready, taking the feet flat to the floor, roll yourself off to the side. Gently make your way back up to seated. Sitting well, drawing the palms to touch. Bowing to the light within. Namaste. So I hope that got you warm at least until the end. I don't know until later at the end. Have a wonderful week. Stay warm. I will be back again next week, and I'm not sure exactly what the environment will be, but hopefully it'll be a little warmer at least. All right, y'all. Thanks for playing with me, and again, have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.